That sounds great, Andrew. I'm all about the power of positive self-talk too. But let's be honest, not all affirmations are created equal. What kinds of affirmations have been working well for you?
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. For example, saying I am worthy or I am confident doesn't seem to do much for me. It feels like it's just words without any real impact.
I get that. Those are common ones people use, but they can be a bit generic and not always resonate with everyone. What have you found more effective?
Well, I started using affirmations that relate more to my current goals or challenges. Like I choose to stay calm in stressful situations when I'm feeling anxious at work.
That's a good approach. Tailoring them to your specific situation can make a big difference. What about you? Any particular affirmations that have worked for you?
For sure. When I was really struggling with my self-doubt, saying I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to help me believe in myself more.
That's powerful. And it's not just about the words themselves. It's also important how often and consistently you repeat them. How often do you think is best?
I've been trying to make a habit out of it. So maybe once or twice a day at key moments like when I wake up or before bed.
That's good advice. Consistency really does matter. What about your affirmations? How do you work them into your routine? For me, I find it helps to write down my affirmations and put them somewhere visible, like on the bathroom mirror or my computer screen. Then every time I see them, I have that little reminder to myself.
Ah, that's a neat idea. I might try that out too. Have you found any apps or tools that make it easier?
There are plenty of apps now that can help with this. Headspace and Calm both offer guided affirmations, which is great if you're not sure where to start.
Interesting. Maybe I'll check those out. What do you think makes a really effective affirmation in your experience?
For me, it's all about making the affirmation personal and specific enough that it feels like it's speaking directly to you. It also helps if it's something you can actually believe right now.
That makes sense. So, it's not just about positive language, but also being true to your current reality?
Exactly. And remember, affirmations are a tool. Use them alongside other techniques like mindfulness or journaling for the best results.
True. Thanks, Ava. I'll definitely keep these tips in mind as I continue my journey with affirmations.
No problem at all, Andrew. Best of luck with your practice.
Hey, Ava. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're diving into something that's been really buzzing around lately, affirmations. But let's be honest, sometimes they feel a little cheesy, right? Like saying, I am amazing when you're having a really rough day.
Absolutely, Andrew. That's a really common reaction, and it's a crucial point. It's so easy to fall into the trap of just reciting positive statements without actually changing anything. A lot of people just parrot affirmations, and it feels completely hollow. The key is how you approach them.
Exactly. So, let's ditch the generic, I am worthy declarations. What's your take on what actually does make affirmations effective? I've read different opinions, and it seems like it's more about intention than the words themselves.
Totally. It's less about the perfect phrase and more about creating a genuine connection with the feeling you're trying to cultivate. Instead of saying I am successful, which can feel daunting, maybe try I am taking a step towards my goals today. It's about anchoring yourself in the action you're willing to take.
That makes so much sense. So, it's about framing it in a way that feels achievable and builds momentum. I've heard about muscle memory for your mind. It's like training yourself to feel a certain way.
Precisely. And that links to the idea of feel-good neuroplasticity. Repeatedly feeling a positive emotion, even if it's just a small one, strengthens those neural pathways. You're literally rewiring your brain. But it's subtle. You need to actually believe you're doing it, even if you're starting small.
So, it's not about forcing a happy facade, but actually gently nudging yourself toward that feeling. What about affirmations specifically tied to a challenge you're facing? Like if you're struggling with anxiety, what would be effective?
Instead of I am calm, which can feel dismissive of the anxiety, try I acknowledge my anxiety and I am choosing to respond with patience and self-compassion. It's validating the feeling and choosing a constructive response. It's about empowerment, not denial.
That's brilliant. It's about owning the emotion rather than fighting it. I also heard something about having a primary affirmation, a core belief you consistently work with.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic point. Mine is something along the lines of I am learning and growing, and that's okay. It's a constant reminder that setbacks are part of the process and perfection isn't the goal. It keeps me grounded.
Okay, that's really powerful. So, let's say someone is skeptical. They're thinking, this is just positive thinking, and it won't change anything about my problems. What's your response to that?
I'd say, look, affirmations aren't a magic fix, but they can be a powerful tool when combined with action. Think of it as a mental lubricant, smoothing the path toward your goals. Even if you just feel a little bit more hopeful or motivated after saying one, that's a win.
That's a really good way to put it. I'm wondering, how do you actually incorporate affirmations into your day? Is it just saying them out loud?
It can be, but I often write them down in a journal, particularly when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Also, I'll repeat them silently to myself while I'm walking or doing something repetitive. It's about making it a habitual practice.
So, it's about finding a method that resonates with you. I was reading somewhere about scripting, essentially writing out a short narrative around your affirmation.
Totally. That's a great technique. For example, if my primary affirmation is I am capable, I might script something like, today, I will tackle this task with confidence and a belief in my abilities. I am resourceful, and I can handle whatever challenges arise.
That feels so much more grounded and detailed. It's less about just saying the words and more about embodying the belief. I'm curious, does the timing of the affirmation matter?
It can. I find that saying affirmations first thing in the morning, before the day's stresses hit, is really effective. It sets the tone and creates a little bit of space for positivity. But honestly, any time you need a boost is a good time to repeat one.
This has been incredibly insightful, Ava. It shifted my perspective on affirmations. It's not about blind optimism, but about intention and training your mind. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise.
You're very welcome, Andrew. It's great to discuss this. Remember, the key is to find what works best for you and to be patient with yourself throughout the process. Thanks for having me, Andrew. So let's dive right in. Affirmations are a great way to rewire your mind and shift your mindset, but not all of them are created equal.
That's right. I've seen some people claim that just repeating certain words or phrases will somehow magically fix everything. But is that really how it works?
Not exactly. The key is to create affirmations that speak directly to the specific area you want to improve, like confidence, self-worth, or stress management.
That makes sense. So, how do we come up with these affirmations? Is there a formula or something?
Well, it's really about identifying what's holding you back and then crafting an affirmation that counteracts that negative pattern. For example, if someone struggles with self-doubt, their affirmation might be, I trust myself and my abilities.
I like that. But how do we know which affirmations actually work? Is there any science behind it?
Yes, there is. Research has shown that when we repeat positive affirmations regularly, it can actually change our brain chemistry and increase feelings of happiness and self-esteem.
That's amazing. So, it's not just about repeating words on a piece of paper. It's about creating a real shift in your mindset.
Exactly. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong with affirmations. They try to force it or fake it until they feel like they're getting the results they want, but that's not how it works.
Yeah, I've seen that too. People get frustrated when their affirmations aren't working right away, so they give up.
But the truth is, it takes time and consistency to see real results. You have to be patient and willing to show up for yourself every day.
That's really helpful advice, Ava. What kind of affirmations would you recommend for people who are just starting out?
Well, I think it's best to start with simple, everyday affirmations that address things like gratitude, self-care, or stress reduction. Something like, I am enough, or I can handle whatever comes my way.
Those are great examples. And what about negative affirmations? Should we be using those too?
Actually, I think negative affirmations can be really helpful for some people, especially if they're dealing with trauma or mental health issues. But for most people, it's best to focus on positive affirmations that promote growth and self-love.
That makes sense. All right, let's try an exercise. Ava, Would you be willing to share a personal affirmation that worked for you?
Sure thing. One of my go-to affirmations is I am capable and strong.